I'm Jimmy Ballard, owner of Top Cut Events, and you're listening to Dead Draw Gaming Podcast like no one ever was.
What's up, Dead Drawers, and welcome to episode number 70 of Dead Draw Gaming, a Pokemon TCG podcast like no one ever was. We have a very crazy, awesome, super exciting episode for you guys today. So if you are hyped just like we are, make sure to hit that like button down below and share this podcast with all of your friends. So before we get into today's agenda, let me go ahead and introduce you guys to my co-hosts who are with me every single week. Hello, Danny. Hello, Darrin. What is going on today, boys?
What up, guys? Darrin here. Boy, this is it, guys. This is the episode. There's so much hype. I can feel Danny's smile from through the computer. This is wonderful. This is a great day. Are you guys as excited as I am?
I'm smiling from Jackson to Stoughton.
Oh my gosh, yeah. The 100-mile smile, we call it.
Ooh, that's good.
Ooh,
100
I like that.
miles. You didn't ask how I am, but I'm good. I guess Dan asked how I am. I'm good.
I actually didn't do either of those things.
That's okay. We got all of the Ultra Prism cards up on the website, which was super exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think it would take me as long as it did, but like counting out 19,000 cards by hand to see how many of each we have gets a little overbearing. Do you want to guess at which card we have the most of?
Out of like commons as well?
Yeah, probably it's a common. I'll give you a hint. It's a common.
We're not counting the I'm gonna say Pachirisu.
Ooh, okay. Darrin?
I'm gonna say Eevee. Is that a common?
Okay. I mean, if you combine the two Eevees together, it's probably number one. But
Gotcha.
we have 231 Stunkies.
Wow. Would not have guessed.
That was number one.
How close was I with Pachirisu, though?
I don't think Pachirisu broke 200.
Oh.
It was surprisingly not as high. Anyways, that's okay. Yeah. So those are all up. So you can go over to our website and purchase. A lot of people have already. We ran a nice little promo code on Sunday in response to the Super Bowl. Darrin, aren't you excited about the Super Bowl? That's exciting for you.
So doing my best to not gush outwardly. Our podcast listeners know that I'm an Eagles fan and that I probably we could just talk about that game for the rest of the episode.
Yeah, let's do that. Do you feel like you won the Super Bowl?
I have friends
in a
that
way you kind of did.
I have friends that feel like I won it, but no, I know that the team won it, and I got to watch them. I didn't personally do anything except wear my Eagles socks and T-shirt.
That's something. You're part of the team.
I think, and I kind of feel like that. Fans are a part of the team. You know, you always talk about the 12th man, the fifth quarter. Like, fans are a part of it, so maybe it's a joint effort.
Well, congratulations on your victory.
Thank you.
Dan, how are you doing?
Guys, I'm doing very well, and I'm so excited that we finally get to share with you the big news. I've been thinking about this literally nonstop every day since we heard about it, and oh man, I'm so excited to share it all with you.
What else are we talking about this week?
Well, we're going to talk about some Pokemon news, which is not the big news, but there is some news. Quite a bit of Pokemon news, actually. Then we do have the Oceania Intercontinental Championships coming up this weekend, so we're going to be able to talk about that also. Then we will do our weekly top 5, and then we will talk about the big news. Then we will have our question of the week, our buy-sell trade of the week, and our open discussion and wrap. So I will kick it over to Danny and Darrin so they can talk about all the non-TCG news before we jump into the TCG stuff. And I'll take it away.
Darrin, I'll let you start with any Pokemon Go news that you have. There is some game-involved news, some Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon news, but I can save that until after you're done with your Pokemon Go segment.
Sounds good. There are 3 things I want to talk about very briefly with Pokemon Go. First of all, there has been an update which includes some minor fixes, and now you can search through your shinies, and then new EX raid invites were sent out, and if you have never raided or have raided infrequently, you should still check, because this go round, a lot of people that are very casual got their EX invites.
Oh, let me check.
Yeah, you should actually check, because even if you've never raided, you might have gotten one.
Sweet.
And then
Look.
When did they give those away?
they went out. I think they went out today.
Okay, I don't think I've opened the game today. Checking.
And finally, the last thing I want to briefly mention is the APK data mine for the next Pokemon Go update. Looks like it includes quests. When I first read that, I got extremely excited. I thought we were going to go on some quest missions. Unfortunately, sounds like they're pretty bland. They're just like hatch an egg, spin a stop, stuff that I don't know. I guess I was a little disappointed. I was hoping for things like search out this specific Pokestop, or I don't know. I guess I don't know what I wanted, and I just wanted more. But that is it for our very quick Pokemon Go update.
I
got
didn't
that
get
out
one.
fast. Oh, you didn't? Oh, man.
No, but I just caught an Electrike that was hanging around in my kitchen.
Nicely done.
So that's exciting. Okay, let's bounce into some Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon news. So we're going to start out with an update. The second patch for Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon has gone live. This patch takes the game to version 1.2 and is required to use all online functions and requires 539 blocks. The patch fixes a number of bugs that have existed in the game, mostly dealing with moves. It fixes a bug where Curse, Forest's Curse, Power Trick, and String Shot could cause the game to freeze during live competitions. All battle videos from before this patch will unfortunately be unable to function.
Wow.
So that came out today. Also, there is a new global mission that has started. So the 4th Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon global mission has begun. This global mission's theme is to harvest Pokebeans. The goal is to reach 30 million Pokebeans by February 19th. If the mission is a success, the participating players get 2,000 festival coins or 4,000 festival coins if they have the global account linked to their game. If it's a failure, they get 1,000 or 2,000 if they have a global link account tied to their game. So that's cool. You can go harvest some Pokebeans, Dan. I would get on that right now.
Someone asked me if I've started playing that game yet.
Dan?
It was probably us every week.
Nope, I haven't.
Dan, have you started playing that game yet? No. Okay.
No.
At least you broke the seal on it and then never played it really.
All right, my last bit of Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon news is Dialga and Palkia distributions are now live at GameStop. So the first distribution for the legendary year of Pokemon are now live. Dialga and Palkia, you can head to GameStop in America, EB Games in Canada, and game stores in the UK to pick up a download code for Dialga in Pokemon Moon and Ultra Moon, and Palkia in Pokemon Sun and Ultra Sun. The codes will only be available until February 28th. You must redeem your codes in your games by May 28th. To celebrate the distribution, the 10th movie, The Rise of Darkrai, is now available on Pokemon TV, and it features Dialga, Palkia, and Darkrai. So, Darrin, you can participate in this one because you have Pokemon Sun?
I do.
Or Moon, one of the two.
I have Sun.
So you can get your Dialga or Palkia.
I've already got a shiny version of each. I'm good.
Okay, fair enough. So that's it for non-TCG related news, I guess.
Nice. That was quick.
So Dan, you want to take us into some TCG news, Dan? We'll save the bigger news for last, I guess.
Okay. Well, in that case, how about we do have some more card leaks that are going to be coming in SM6, which is the set that's going to be coming to the United States on May 4th. And I guess also in Europe and basically every other place that is in Japan. Anyways, one of those cards is Fossil Excavation Kit. It is a item card that reads, search your deck or discard pile for one unidentified fossil card, show it to your opponent, and put it into your hand. If you searched your deck, shuffle it.
Seems like they're really
Interesting.
going to try to make fossils. Like they're really trying to fix it.
And I am totally okay with that. We did only get 2 of the fossils that evolved from unidentified fossils so far. So we're still missing Lileep, which will eventually evolve into Cradily, and then Anorith, which will evolve into Armaldo. So those are the other 2 pictured on unidentified fossil. I guess maybe in the future there more will come, but it's definitely interesting. It's much better this way than what it was before.
Totally agree. The old way of using fossils was super gimmicky and not competitive.
Did you see the new logo that they revealed for SM6 Forbidden Light?
Yeah, that's actually, I like it a lot. I think it's super good.
Cool.
Just this one and Ultra Prism too, just very clean looking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this one looks to me like it's got Ultra Necrozma like just written all over it. Like it just looks like it's an Ultra Necrozma set.
Well, isn't this is the set we're getting Ultra Necrozma? So
Yeah, exactly.
I like
think
it.
that I think the creators obviously took that into account when they designed the logo. I think I like the font a lot. I like the color schemes. I like the outline. Like you said, it's super clean. I like it a lot.
Yep. And with the set coming out, the article did go on to mention that the set will feature Ultra Necrozma GX, Lucario GX, Greninja GX, Zygarde GX, Eviltal GX, Naganadel GX, a Volcanion, and an Arceus Prism Star card. I think all of which we've talked about before, except Greninja and Eviltal and Zygarde, which we'll be talking about here in a second. Going on to say that the set will include over 130 cards, including 5 Prism Stars, 8 Pokemon GX, 6 Ultra Beasts, 15 Trainer cards, and 2 Special Energy.
Ooh, baby.
And the entire set will be released in Japan on March 2nd, so in a few weeks already. Gosh, that comes up so quick, doesn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to have like 3 tournaments, and then all of a sudden Forbidden Light will come out.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll have all the new scans. We'll have everything.
Yeah, so speaking of like, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more cards that were released, and all 5 of these are worth talking about. I think we can kind of go one by one here for them. The first one is going to be Malamar. It is a stage 1 psychic type with 90 HP that evolves from Inkay. Has an ability called Psycho Recharge. Once during your turn before you attack, you may attach a psychic energy from your discard pile to one of your benched Pokemon. It has a worthless attack. Its weakness is psychic, has no resistance, and a retreat cost of 2. And Dynamotor is back, boys.
Yeah, this is going to be really good, I think. Like,
Psychomotor. Sorry. I interrupted you to make a really bad joke, and now I feel
I
really
think it was
bad.
a good joke. That was a
Psychomotor?
good joke. Yeah, Psychomotor.
So,
I've already heard a lot of hype regarding this card with Mew from Fates Collide.
Ray Eels.
Or if you're Dan, Ray Eels.
No.
I haven't heard as much hype about that.
Ultra Necrozma GX and
Ultra
Malamar
Necrozma GX.
is literally the Ray Eels.
Well, what if you run it with Mew, though?
I mean, I guess you could do that too, but I don't know what Mew's doing for you that Ultra Necrozma GX isn't.
It's a 1-prize attacker.
Yeah, with 50 HP. Ugh.
Yeah, but it's broken. It's busted.
Don't say that.
Okay, well, I'm just getting my information from pro team players, which I guess you're technically a part of since you're going to Collinsville, so I'll take your word for it.
Yep, I'm part of the pro team now.
Part of the Dan team.
Same thing.
So, yeah, this is good. What else we got? What's next, Darren?
Next up, I want to talk about the Heatran promo at GameStop.
Oh, we're going to go. Oh, okay, we're going out of order here. Okay.
Going out of order. We got to really keep it fresh. Well, GameStop is giving away a Holo Heatran promo with the purchase of $25 of Pokemon TCG products. Unlike the in-set version, this is a Galaxy Holo, and it also has an Ultra Prism stamp on it, similar to pre-release promos. It looks good, you guys. It's the one from Ultra Prism with the Guard Press and the Boiling Impact. I don't know if I'm gonna go get this. If they do more of these, then maybe something better will come along. What do you guys think of this? Is this a good pickup?
I mean, if it was a good card, I'd be happy about it. I know Dan's not necessarily angry about Heatran. Like, I just think it's not good. Galaxy Hollows are always worth a little bit more than the original, but even like the Evital Galaxy Hollows that they had come out, like those got up to like $7-8. The Oblivion Wing version, and that's actually like was a super playable card during that time.
Yeah.
So I don't think that these are. I mean, if you're already going to be spending $25 on product from a big box store, and if GameStop decided they were going to sell all of their cards for 10 cents again, then I would be like, go for it.
Right.
But
well,
otherwise, it's not something I'm really excited about.
Yeah. For any of our listeners that are interested in this Heatran, you have until February 28th to get to your local GameStop, and maybe they'll have it. I don't know. Good luck.
And Dan will sign it for you for free.
Oh, yeah, just send it. Send it here, and Dan will sign it. We'll send it back.
Yep. But you got to pay postage, so I literally don't care about this at all.
This isn't one of your low-key favorite Pokemon of all time?
Nope.
Wow.
Not a Heatran fan, Dan.
Not a Heat Dan.
Wow.
Not a Heat Dan.
All right, I'm going to talk about Zygarde GX.
There we
since
go.
It's just sitting there waiting for me. So Zygarde GX comes out in this set. It's got 200 HP, fighting type. It's a basic. For 2 colorless energy, it does Cell Connector, which does 50 damage, and then you get to attach 2 fighting energy from your discard pile to this Pokemon. And then for a double colorless and 2 fighting, it does Land's Wrath, which does 130 damage. And then its GX attack is Judgment GX for 2 fighting and a double colorless. It does 150 damage, and during your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes no damage from the attacks of your opponent's Pokemon GX and Pokemon EX. It's got a retreat cost of 3. It's weak to grass, resistant to nothing. I can get behind this guy.
So before we talk too much about it, I also want to read Bonnie, which is a supporter card.
Okay.
Bonnie reads, discard a stadium in play. During this turn, your Zygarde GX may use its GX attack if you have already used a GX attack this game.
That's sick. That's busted.
So, yeah, reading Judgment GX again one more time. During your opponent's next turn, this Pokemon takes no damage from the attacks of your opponent's Pokemon GX and EX. You're doing 150 damage, 180 with Choice Band. That's a lot.
Yeah, 180 is still pretty much the magic number, and you can attach. I mean, you technically could attach a strong energy to this if you wanted to hit for 200.
Absolutely.
I think that, like, this goes back to the day when it felt like we had a super. You know, remember when Big Basics was like a huge thing, and we had all these different EXs, and it just seemed like it was an EX heavy format. It seems like that's kind of where we are right now with the current format as far as standard goes, where majority of decks that you're going to be playing are going to have a GX as its main attacker, where for a long time Greninja was so relevant, Garbodor was so relevant. It seemed like a lot of these cards that were out there were non-GX attackers, and now I don't know of ultra competitive decks that don't have a GX as its main attacker where this would come in and be pretty good.
There's really not one right now.
Yeah, and it could change. I mean, I think Greninja did get a little bit better with Ultra Prism, and there's still some decks like Garchomp and Empoleon, and I mean, even a Alolan Dugtrio, if you want to go that far, that could see play. Passimian could start seeing a little bit more play because of the heavy Zoroark lines all the way around the board. A lot of questions will get answered this weekend, but the real questions will get answered next weekend in Collinsville as far as where the format turns to.
Yeah, I can feel you. Man, so in this same article, there's another card that actually makes Zygarde slightly more appealing. It is Diancie Prism Star. This says it has an ability called Princess Veil. If this Pokemon is on your bench, your fighting Pokemon's attacks do 20 more damage to the opponent's active. It's got an attack called Diamond Rain for 3 fighting, 90 damage, heal 30 from each of your bench Pokemon. weak to grass, no resistance, a retreat cost of 2. It is a Prism Star Pokemon, so this is the only one in your deck, but this is 20 more damage on your Zygarde GX.
So this and the Choice Band and the Strong Energy, there's your magic 220. Now you can hit 210 also.
Yeah, I don't even know. I mean, you could probably 20, 30. Yeah, I guess you would need. Is 180 still a relevant number at all? I think it's still a pretty relevant number, isn't it?
You knock out like Bulus and Lele's.
Yeah, I mean, you don't need
it
anything special to
basically
knock
ends
out.
there.
You don't need anything special to knock out a Zoroark because you only need 100.
Weakness.
Yeah.
Like Glaceon now and Leafeon. I think both of those two are going to see a lot. Lycanroc.
Yeah,
Steelhead,
Leafeon, you're pretty much in a lot of trouble no matter what with this card, but it might be appealing to test Zygarde with like a Fighting Fury belt as opposed to a Choice Band if you're going to have a DNC anyways and a Strong Energy, just because then you're adding that extra 40 HP. It becomes more bulky. Running 240 HP that's a force.
Actually,
the thing though is like if you're able to stream the Judgment GX over and over, you don't need the extra HP, right? Because Leafeon's not hitting you anyway.
No.
So you just
Leafeon's
got
not hitting
you just got to figure out how to Judgment GX first.
Yeah, exactly. Right. You got to search out those Bonnies. I do want to talk about, so the one card leak that I'm most excited about, and Darren's probably least excited about, is
Sadness.
Lysander Prism Star.
ugh.
I'm super pumped for this card. So,
Wait, why is Darren not excited for this?
because this ruins Night March.
I don't know about ruins.
I
It's a
mean,
pain.
Doesn't help Night March.
Yeah, remember,
That's for
people are like, "Oh, Karen ruins Night March." Well,
This is completely different though. So I'm going to read what it does. So Lysander Prism Star is a supporter card. You can only have one of these in your deck, but when you play it, for each of your fire Pokemon in play, you put the same number of cards from your opponent's discard pile into their lost zone. So let's say you're running Volcanion Turtonator in Expanded. If you've got 6 Pokemon in play and you're taking all 6 of those out of your opponent's discard pile and putting them in the lost zone, I mean, you're taking away half of their arsenal, literally half of what they're using to knock you out. That's a huge, huge number.
Yeah, you're not compressoring those back. They're gone.
Yeah. I don't know what deck outside of Volcanion Turtonator you would really use this in an Expanded that would ruin Night March, so I don't think it's necessarily a huge issue. But it's definitely a card that you're going to be playing if you're playing Fire and Expanded.
And I mean, it also gets rid of other problems that decks can see. You know, puzzle becomes less powerful because you can get rid of the spare puzzle pieces. You can get rid of the DCEs in the discard pile. There's just a lot of parts that can be fished out of a discard pile that you would love to make disappear with Lysander Prism Star.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's not. I mean, we'll see, I guess. There's a long time before this stuff comes out, but I think that this is definitely a tech that you'll see in a lot of decks in Standard moving forward, just to see, because like Darren said, there's so much stuff that you can pull out of your discard pile with puzzles, or even if you go like the Pal Pad route and they want to start shuffling supporters back into their deck, this makes that more difficult. Or it could be energy cards, right? You're trying to super rod stuff back. Or special charge with all the double colorless that are being played all the time. Special charge them back into your deck. Like this could become a very useful tech if you're playing a fire deck. Otherwise, it's completely irrelevant.
Right, of course.
I don't know what other fire deck is even going to be played outside of Volcanion, if Volcanion gets played. Like, there's nothing else, right? Am I missing something?
No, there isn't anything else for fire right now.
Nor in the foreseeable future, really, right? I mean, we still don't know what Volcanion is going to be when it comes out in Forbidden Light.
That's right. But with this fire support, we can hope, right? Plus, another one of our leaks that came out is we have 2 brand new Fennekins, and one of them has 70 HP. So we have a 70 HP Fennekin coming. That means we've got a decent Delphox maybe, right? I don't know.
I don't know. Fennekin's such a boring blast starter. Oh, look at me. I'm a Firefox. Congratulations.
I mean, I kind of agree. I was straight up Froakie. Chespin's cute, though.
I think we can agree that just in general, Gen 6 is the worst starters, like overall.
We can't.
Oh.
Because of Froakie?
Froakie's great.
Okay. I'm an OG
Finnegan.
kind of guy.
These are all right.
OP kind of guy.
I do like that we're getting all of these Kintsugamori artworks, though.
Yeah, that is nice.
Much
Yeah.
enjoy.
He was just at Dallas, right? Who was at Dallas signing cards?
Mitsuhiro Arita. Good guy. Good art. Look at all this stuff. This Lugia is beautiful.
Well, there you go. Dan, you want to take another card? There's another one here, right?
How about we talk about Dedenne?
There you go.
It is a basic fairy type Pokemon with 60 HP. Has 2 attacks. Its first one for 1 fairy energy. Find a friend. Search your deck for a Pokemon, reveal it, and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. And then it has a second attack for 2 colorless energy. Reads Electric Chain, 30 plus damage. This attack does 30 more damage if you have a lightning Pokemon on your bench. It is weak to metal, has a resistance to dark, and a retreat cost of 1. When this article first came out, the translation read, this attack does 30 more damage for each lightning Pokemon you have on your bench. And since that's been changed, this card is very bad.
Yeah, not even as good as any Call for Family Pokemon out there. And then the attack is terrible. And the art, I don't know if you guys like it. I certainly don't.
I also do not. Not a fan.
We did skip over the Alolan Executor, which was almost a good card.
True.
Almost a good card.
The art. Oh my god.
Okay, so this art is great. So this new Alolan Executor, 160 HP, stage 1. For 1 grass energy, it does Tropical Shake, 20 plus damage. This deck does 20 more damage for each type of basic energy card in your discard pile. Maximum of 5. So it can do 120 base damage for 1 grass energy. Why did they have to limit it to 5?
Yo, if it wasn't limited to 5, this would be so good.
Yeah, exactly.
If I have 2 unit energies in there, is that 6?
Each type of basic energy.
Yeah, it says basic.
Oh, it says basic.
Mm-hmm. And even then it says up to 5.
Yeah, I understand that, but that would, you know what I mean. That would be 5.
It was almost amazing.
I like where your head's at.
Yeah. But it's basic, so it doesn't matter. We do have 2 other little bits of news. So the Galeo GX box and the Lunala GX box product images were released. So these boxes feature some booster packs, the jumbos. Most importantly, they feature the new foil promos of Galeo GX and Lunala GX. So these were super hyped because the Galeo GX, a lot of people assumed was really, really, really good. But it's not coming out now when we get all the metal support, so we'll have to wait. It was originally scheduled to be released on March 23rd. Now you got to wait until October 5th. So Pokebeach is speculating that the delay is likely caused by a saturated release schedule. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. The upcoming Legendary Year of Pokemon will be featuring Legendaries in the special TCG products. So you got to wait about 8 more months to get these guys. So that's fun. And then finally, we do get a shiny Zygarde GX box in June. So this comes out in America and Europe on June 1st. It'll come with a never-before-seen foil promo card of shiny Zygarde GX, a jumbo version of the same card, 4 booster packs, and a PTCGO code card. There's no idea yet what the card actually does. I'm not a big fan of these shiny boxes so far. I haven't seen anything good come out of them. Not necessarily as pulls go, but the promos aren't very good, which makes it not necessarily as valuable to open, because if the promos aren't going to be worth a few dollars at least, then there's really no point in getting the box, because chances are you're not going to pull that great, and then you're relying on, your promo and your code card to be able to turn a profit, and if those don't do anything good, then they're not worth anything. So
right.
That comes out June 1st. We'll see what it does when it comes out, but I haven't been overly impressed so far, especially the Zoroark one that came out recently, the Shining Legend Zoroark one. That one was terrible. Holy cow. That was bad. So that's it for news, at least that I have. Do you guys have anything else that you want to talk about?
Not for leaks.
Just the big news now, right?
Yeah, all that's left
Yeah,
is
the big news.
the important stuff.
Yeah, so I don't have the exact article up right now that Ludkins posted earlier. However, I can confirm that this news definitely is not fake. Like, there is a lot of speculation going around online currently. So, for some reason, I guess I'll just go into what the news is. So, basically, what's happening is Ultra Prism came out about a week ago, and all the distributors, for the most part, across the United States are either sold out or just about sold out. And the distributors are getting wind that Ultra Prism 36 count boosters will not have a reprint, and there is not a reprint scheduled at this current time. Standard boosters are sold out. ETBs are not necessarily sold out, but very close to being so. And even when there is a reprint, if there is a reprint, it will be a very small reprint. So basically what this means is if you do not currently have an Ultra Prism booster box and you are looking at getting one, your price just went from being able to find one on eBay for like $85 to being able to find one on eBay for about $110. It's all supply and demand just went way up because we got notice that supply went way down. So, I want to hear what you guys think about this before I give my 2 cents. Why is this out of print already?
I don't even want to say anything. Can you just your speculation? Because you're right.
No, I'm not necessarily right. It's just my opinion. Like, this is huge news. I have never, ever, ever seen something like this happen before. And granted, I haven't followed the game that long, but the last set that I can remember, and this was way before I was even in the game, that was this grossly underproduced to meet demand, was Dark Explorers. And that is why you see Dark Explorers cards so much more expensive than all the other black and white sets. Not just because of the fact that the artwork is amazing, like the Groudon from Dark Explorers and the Kyogre and the Raikou, like those cards are so cute looking. Those were completely underproduced, and that's why like sealed product for that is through the roof, and singles are very high compared to the other sets. This is even worse than that. We are not even a week after Street release. We're sitting here 5 days after Street release, and distributors are telling us, hey, just so you know, we have a limited quantity left, and we can't get any more, and there is no announcement that we will be able to get more.
I definitely would, speculation, some of my first thoughts would run towards, well, literally nobody bought Crimson Invasion. And that's the most recent, full set to come out. So you have to think that probably has something to play, all of our distributors are sitting on boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of Crimson Invasion. Why print so much Ultra Prism, I think that Pokemon maybe kind of realized the mistake they made with it by having such low rates with Crimson that, we definitely saw a little bit of a fix of that in Ultra Prism as far as the pull rates are concerned. But no one bought it ever. It was a bad set. And I think that maybe Pokemon's trying to recoup a little bit, okay, cool. We sold out. Maybe we'll print some.
So I have a different idea. I was reading some on Twitter from other people that also heard the news earlier today about this. And it turns out that the company that prints for Pokemon, they're actually a fairly small company. And a lot of bad things can happen when you have a small company handling so much business for such a large market. There could be any number of issues. Maybe the printing plates got screwed up in the first run. Maybe they've run out of card stock. Maybe it's a logistics issue. There are a lot of things that can go wrong. I actually used to work in the paper industry. I made cardboard boxes for years, and you would be shocked to hear just how difficult it is just to make a cardboard box. I can't imagine what it would be like to have to pump out billions of Pokemon cards. It's just I don't know, man. I would say I would put money on it's an issue with the card creators and not an ordering issue with Pokemon. Like, I don't think this is on purpose, personally.
Okay. Yeah, and I don't think there's anybody necessarily who is right or wrong because it's just purely speculation now. I think I tend to go more in the direction of what Dan was saying. So think about it from like common sense aspect sort of thing. So Pokemon had a very high saturation of product that came out for over a year and a half basically, where starting with Evolutions where there's this big boon where Pokemon was going nuts. Evolutions saw probably the biggest set release ever to date. And since then, it's just been steadily growing. After Evolutions, you had a new generation, a new era. Sun and Moon came out. People were clamoring, give me sealed product, give me sealed product, give me everything. Then all of a sudden you had Guardians Rising, where you had a format-changing card, such as Tapu Lele, plus a ton of different staples that were very valuable to every deck. You had Field Blower, you had Choice Band, you had all these big cards in Guardians Rising. So people were willing to buy all these booster boxes because they knew they would be able to pull enough value out of them that they would be able to turn around and sell the contents because bulk was still very relevant and get their money back. Then you had Burning Shadows, which was also a very hyped set. So there's some good cards in Burning Shadows. Not great, but not bad. You had this Charizard GX, which came out as this really, really good-looking Rainbow Rare card. Everybody wanted it. Everybody was trying to pull it. In previous sets, you had gold DCEs, you had gold Ultra Balls, and again, bulk was super relevant. So people thought they could go out and buy a bunch of booster boxes of Burning Shadows, turn around, keep what they needed, sell the bulk, get a little money back, sell the codes, get a little money back, and then just live off of the GXs. Or if they pulled a Charizard GX, which still sells for over $100, they could go and sell it, and you're in the profit. I mean, you're making money off of that, and that's what a lot of these smaller places were doing. So with that being said, then you move forward and you get this massive release of products. You get Shining Legends, you get the whole collection, you get the XY Premium Trainer collection, and this was a highly printed stuff that was sent out to all these different distributors. All these different people were getting them. And I think that as you moved into Crimson Invasion, there was just such a huge surplus of product. So Crimson Invasion, they thought, okay, well, this is the new set. We're gonna get this many printed right away, and it didn't sell. And now you have all these different vendors out there that are sitting on all this product. You can go out and you can find a booster box right now of Crimson Invasion for $77. That is losing money. If you're a vendor, you are losing money selling it for $77, but you have to do it because you have to recoup your losses on that set. Because of that, they weren't able to order as much Ultra Prism as they would like. And TPCI noticed this and they said, oh my goodness, we can't have another Crimson Invasion. We're going to have to print less. We're going to have to change the market because the secondary market is ruined. Cards aren't worth anything. And now all of a sudden, we have a set coming out where if it doesn't sell as well as Crimson Invasion even, then we're going to be sitting on all this additional product and our distributors aren't going to be ordering any of it to sell to the vendors. So we're not going to risk doing that. We're going to print less and we'll see how it goes. I do think that there will be a reprint in the future of booster boxes, but I guarantee you it has nothing to do with, there's been people out there speculating that this has to do with Cyrus because Cyrus is getting errated and it's going to need a new print. It has nothing to do with that. People are saying the print run was terrible. The quality was bad. Yeah, the quality was bad, but that doesn't mean they're not going to reprint. They're not going to realign all their plates. They're not going to change everything. That is not cost effective for them, so they're not going to do that. The thing is they're looking at it and they're saying, okay, this set was very hyped. It ended up being a big set, and now we don't have enough, so maybe we have to look at additional vendors to print. And right now, they're not necessarily scrambling, but they're just sitting back and they're like, okay, the market is full, and people have ordered. How much do we want to reprint now where we don't lose our heads if we print too much? So now the market is going to blow up, and everybody's going to be looking for all these cards that don't exist anymore because vendors don't have them because they can't get them from distributors. The secondary market's going to blow up. Your bulk prices are going to rise. Your staples from this set are going to rise, and it's going to become a more expensive game to play if you're looking at getting a bunch of Ultra Prism cards for Collinsville. Or if something does really well at Collinsville, then you're looking at Toronto and Virginia, and you're like, okay, now I've got to pay $25, $30 for a regular art Glaceon GX because I don't have much of a choice because this set was so underprinted. Like, this is what people wanted. This is what everybody wanted. They wanted the secondary market to expand more, to be more valuable. So now Pokemon is doing that, but in order to do that, your sealed product is going to be much more scarce. It all boils down to supply and demand, and TPCI just realizing, hey, we don't want to lose a ton of money. We're going to continue printing stuff, but we're only going to throw it in collection boxes. We're going to throw it in tins. It'll still be available on the secondary market. If you want to go to Walmart and you want to buy a tin, a Duskmane Necrozma tin, go nuts. You'll get a couple packs of Ultra Prism, but hey, you're also going to get a Crimson Invasion pack. Oh, and here's the Sun and Moon base pack, or whatever it is that they throw in there. We got to get rid of some of this extra inventory here. And if we only make if we only make Ultra Prism available through these other chains, through buying collection boxes and tins, then we can get rid of some of this stuff that we're still sitting on, and then maybe we'll worry about a reprint. But they don't want to lose money on all this stuff. That's the way my head is spinning around it. Like, that's the way that I'm thinking about it. If they can bundle this stuff with all the other junk that isn't selling, then they'll do that. Rather than make a product that has 36 of one booster pack, they'll make a product that has 2 of one and 1 of a couple other sets. Well, that's why you get evolutions in every single box that you open.
Oh, Ninja, I was just going to say that.
So that's my thought process behind it. I don't know if that's right or not.
No, you guys make sense.
I think we can all agree that this has 0% to do with Cyrus.
Yeah, in before tomorrow, after we're done recording and the podcast is out, Pokemon comes on and says, this is 100% because of Cyrus.
No, there's many they didn't do it for Electrode.
Yep, that's true. That's very true.
They're not going to do it for Cyrus.
No, exactly.
Sure, Cyrus is a bigger card, but it does not matter.
Yeah, they don't care. I mean, when you go to a tournament, like, you need to know what the card does currently, not necessarily what the card says. Every judge needs to know that. Every player needs to know that. Pokemon doesn't necessarily care what the text is that's printed on it. And a lot of people are saying that the Cyrus that's errated is going to be worth so much. You know what? You need to start looking at getting the new print Cyrus. If they're going to underproduce those cards, that's the card that's going to be valuable. Not the card that's been mass produced, the card that's getting less produced. So don't worry about the Cyrus that was printed first. Worry about the Cyrus that's getting printed second, because it sounds like that one's going to be much less available than the current one. Because if you can only get that one in collection boxes, it's not going to be as populated throughout, the world than the one that was printed in 200,000 booster boxes. I think that this is crazy. Like, this blew up today. Like, when the news broke this morning, when Ludkins released their article regarding this, everything just kind of blew up. Like, you can buy a booster box on TCG Player for Crimson Invasion for $78. You can buy a booster box on eBay for Crimson Invasion for $78. You cannot buy a booster box for Ultra Prism now on TCG Player or eBay for under $97. That's a big swing. And it's just going to continue to go up, because once this news spreads, take advantage before it's too late. It's the world of unknown. So until we know what's going on, all you can do is speculate and guess and hope that your decision is right. I don't know. This is the biggest news I've ever seen, I think, in a long, long time, as far as a set goes. Like, this is bigger than the Roaring Skies reprint. This is nuts. So that's the big news of the week.
That's a lot of big news.
But not the biggest news of the week, but we'll get to that in a little bit. So don't leave us yet, because we've got some really, really big news coming up that deals with Dead Draw Gaming as a company, not necessarily Pokemon. I mean, it's Pokemon related, but more business related. So let's move on. We've got a tournament coming up. We've got a couple pro players going. This weekend is Oceania. Am I saying that right? Oceania?
Yep.
which is in Australia. So this
It
is
is.
standard. This is the last tournament where Ultra Prism is not legal. So we're going to Australia this weekend. I believe it is officially streamed,
It is.
if I remember seeing that correctly. Okay, cool. So what are we thinking? Are you thinking just Zoroark Lycanroc again, or do you have other ideas?
It's hard to imagine it being any different than what Memphis was. Question mark, question mark, question mark, slash Zoroark. You know,
That's a
could be anything.
pretty good way to look at it. You know, yeah, it's the same format, right? We haven't added any new cards, so I don't know. I would say Lycanroc still very strong. Zoroark, of course, is going to make up. I would say it's as much, maybe even more than Memphis.
Even with all the European players that are going to be attending, they always do different stuff.
That is true. They like to shake things up, and often it works in their favor. I don't know.
Do you guys think that weird Wob Wall deck is going to do anything?
Man, I kind of hope so. It's so off the wall.
I think it'll be played. I don't think it'll do anything as far as like topping. You may see one in day 2.
Yeah, that's tough. I don't know. I'm gonna pull up the results from Memphis and see what you guys think of each deck. I'm gonna name them off here.
I think Zoroark Lycanroc is really good, but as we start looking at more League Cup results, I think that there's more viable options in Standard that still can give Zoroark Lycanroc a run for its money. And if I had to pick a winner today, Zoroark Lycanroc is not the deck that I would pick to win.
All right. So there's been a lot of hype on Bulu lately. What do you guys think of Bulu going into Oceania?
I think the problem is just its consistency.
3 out of 5.
Isn't that what Bulu struggles with? Is its consistency? It has a tendency to brick on itself, basically.
Yeah, it's definitely like when it doesn't break, it is definitely a very hard deck to beat, especially with how easy it can hit 210. But yeah, it's consistently beats itself.
Yes. Another very popular deck was Gardevoir. There weren't a lot in day 2, but there were plenty in top 64. Do you think Gardevoir makes its comeback here? Do you think Greninja makes a comeback here?
Gardevoir 4 out of 5. Greninja 2 out of 5.
I would switch those.
Wow.
I think Greninja's a better play right now than Gardevoir. I think Greninja has better matchups across the board with what's currently being played. And if there's going to be a lot of Zoroark Lycanroc, I think Greninja has a better chance than what Gardevoir has.
All right. What do you guys think of Garbodor variants? We've got, like a Buzzball Garbodor. We've got Golisopod Garbodor. What do you guys think?
Particularly, I would say both get a 3 out of 5.
It is 11:08 p.m. on February 6th, and I am saying Buzzwole Garbodor will win Oceania.
Wow.
Interesting.
I love it. Do you know which one of our pro players is playing that, and you're naming them as the winner? Is that how this is going?
I don't know what our pro team is playing. Do you guys know what our pro team is playing?
No.
We haven't really heard too much about
I
Oceania.
believe it's only Caleb and Frank there, correct?
Yeah, I haven't seen them talk too much. Maybe they have a separate chat going since they're the only two going.
That could be, and that'd be smart of them because there are 1,000 messages a day.
Literally, oh my gosh. I used to try to keep up, and now I'm just like, hey, these past 15 messages, I can respond. What else is there, Darren? You haven't given me anything 5 out of 5 yet.
No, that's pretty much it. The big hitters in Memphis, we've covered them. There's a little bit, tiny bit of metal.
Ask me about Zoroark Lycanroc?
Because we know that's 5.
5 out of 5. There we go. I just wanted to get something 5.
Okay. There was one Volcanion that made day 2 in Memphis. 1 out of 5. Volcanions 1 out of 5, you say? All right, that's
I think Volcania can compete with Zoroark Lycanroc, though.
It can hit it can. It's just it's pretty hard for Volcanion to hit 210. And not uncommon for, you need a big bench and boom, there's the Rogue GX, dangerous Rogue GX.
Yeah, and it's tough.
690 damage.
It's really tough to play around 4 Guzma and 2 or 3 Bloodthirsty Eyes, especially. There's just so much switching that you can do in Volcanion because you have to have this, 2 or 3 Volcanion EX, and they have a retreat cost, and they have a retreat cost of 3. It's just tough to keep working around all that switching.
I love Darren's rewind noise.
Thanks.
That was good.
Maybe I'll not need to use it so much in the future.
But yeah, I just fucking not interested. Hard pass.
It's all good. One thing I wanted to mention just briefly, see what you guys think of. We are in the middle of a huge event sandwich with a regional, an intercontinental, and a regional. This part of the competitive season seems crazy. Like, am I alone here thinking that this is just a lot for 1 month?
No, I think it is a lot because we went. What did we have? We had Dallas 2 weeks ago, but before that, we went a long stretch with not having anything.
Right.
Or a decent stretch. So having it sandwiched in between. What is the third week? So you have this one, Collinsville, and then is it Virginia or is it?
Collinsville is the third week.
Yeah.
What's the second week? Which one am
Dallas,
I missing here?
No, it was Dallas, and then
this is the second week.
This is the second
okay.
one. This is the middle of the sandwich, and then it's St. Louis.
Yeah.
Well, if I'd have to look at the calendar, but if I remember correctly, after St. Louis, we don't have another one until Charlotte in late March, right? So we go about 6 weeks without one.
All right, let me take a look because I have it pulled up here.
Yeah, I mean, it's different because this is an international. So I guess that makes a difference, but it makes it very difficult for players to take this much time off of work or be able to afford this much for traveling. Especially with the size Dallas was.
To Australia, really, I don't really think Pokemon is taking into effect the regional schedule in the United States as to when to schedule intercontinentals, especially one in Australia.
Right, that's what I'm saying. That's kind of my point.
Yeah.
As far as like scheduling, there's 3 there. I mean, but you kind of, if you're vying for a top 16 spot, do you have a choice? Don't you kind of have to go to every event?
If you're vying for top 16, you almost have to go. But you got to remember too, like I think people in top 16 are getting paid to go to this, right?
Well, they get a stipend. If you're in top 16,
they're getting their stipends.
Yeah, if you're a top 16 at a certain point in the season, you got basically $1,000 to spend on the event. So that's supposed to go for your flight, your room, and then hopefully it doesn't cost any more than that to go. That's why Frank and Caleb have the benefit of going because they were top 16. I think Frank fell out. Caleb is number
pretty
7.
sure.
Frank is like 9.
Frank's at 10.
There you go. Okay, the next regional is Costa Mesa, which is expanded, and that is March 3rd, and then it's Charlotte on the 17th.
I thought there was like a big lull in events coming up soon.
There is. The next one after that is Oregon, which is the 24th of March, and then Utah isn't until May 5th.
There it is. Wow.
But then it's 4 in a month. Then it's Utah, Ontario, Roanoke, and Madison.
Jeez. That's so much.
Yeah, that's just a lot of events. So this is the event sandwich. Coming up later in the year, we have the double-decker heart attack sandwich of events.
I like that. Double-decker heart attack.
Double-decker heart attack. Yeah, I think that it's a lot. It's a lot to prepare for. It's a lot to play for, especially when you consider 2 of these events. St. Louis is standard. Dallas was expanded.
Yes.
And this Oceania is standard.
That's right.
And in the tail end of this, a new set is legal. So if you're somebody who is going to all these events, not only do you have to invest your time and your money into traveling, you also have to invest in a new set and invest your mind into a new meta because the meta is going to change.
This is
next week.
That's a great point, Danny. This is 3 different formats that you have to prepare for in 4 weeks. That's nuts. Expanded, standard, new standard. That's a lot. That is a lot to swallow. I'm excited to see which players can do well in all three. I think that would be really fun to see if anybody can do extremely well in all three.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, when you looked at the top 32 of Dallas, there were some good, big name players in the top 32, but there was also a lot of big players that were left out of the top 32.
Yeah, that's very true.
They could go over to, like, Michael Premwat, for example. So he wasn't in top 32 at Dallas. He was there. But he'll be playing in Oceania, and he just won Memphis, which was the last standard event. So you got to assume that he would play really well over in Oceania.
I would think so.
Other than that, like, I can't think of any really good. Raul Reddy was in Dallas. He didn't do that great, but he'll be over in Oceania. Caleb will be in Oceania, and he did really well in Dallas. He made top 16, so he could have another really strong performance. But again, now it's standard, and then the following week you have to prepare for a new standard. And there's a good chance that the standard deck that he plays in Collinsville is completely different than the one that he plays in Oceania. That's a lot to prepare for.
Yes.
So I think I would like to see a little bit more of a spread out schedule if you're going to have these giant gaps. If you're going to add more regionals and fill in these giant gaps, then go for it. But I don't know. It's a lot.
Tough stuff. Do you guys think there's going to be any straight Zoroark in Oceania?
No. No.
Okay.
There's no damage output on its own,
I think it's more likely in Collinsville that you would see straight Zoroark, because then you have Palpad legal. So you can Palpad in all those Acer rolls back into your deck to pick up that damage.
Okay.
But like Dan said, you're just not outputting enough, at, what are you hitting for, maxing out at 150?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And as far as St. Louis meta goes, we can talk about that more next week. We got time for that.
Yeah. So that, I don't think there'll be too many straight Zoroark, because 150 is not going to cut it. Not with how big Acer Roll is in the format where every deck's running it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So, awesome. All right. Well, do we want to move over to our weekly top 5?
Weekly top 5?
Yeah, let's talk about our top 5. This week, our weekly top 5 is all about what cards do we think are bannable. I think when I went about this, I picked the top 5 cards that I think could possibly warrant discussion on a ban, because I don't personally like banning cards. So all of my top 5, I wouldn't ban them personally. So
I'm gonna go ahead and agree. There's only one card right now that, like, if someone said, Dan, the ban list is 100% in your hands, I would keep the bans that we currently have and only add one of these cards. Same thing. For me, number 2 through 5 is just cards that maybe are okay to bring up in discussion, and that's it.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so I'll go ahead and start. My number 5 is Hexmaniac.
My number 5 is Dimension Valley.
Wow, we're all going to have different ones. My number 5 is VS Seeker.
All right.
Whoa, spice.
My number 4 is Getsis.
My number 4 is Trevenant.
My number
X
4.
and Y.
My number 4 is also Getsis.
My number 3 is Battle Compressor.
Dang it, Darren, did you just copy my list?
I did. I totally did.
Okay.
My number 3 is Getsis.
My number 3 is Battle Compressor.
My number 2, Zoroark GX.
My number 2, Battle Compressor.
My number 2 is Dimension Valley.
My number 1 is VS Seeker.
My number 1 is Double Colorless Energy.
What? Really? Is that a troll answer?
No, 100% legit.
Wow.
Oh. So my answer is going to surprise you guys, I guess, then, because this wasn't on any of your top 5s. My number 1 is the Propagate Execute.
Yo, that was my number 6. I literally
Wow.
have it written down on this piece of paper right here.
I
like
think
it.
that's what makes Zoroark broken.
Yeah, I think you're right.
It definitely helps, but most Zoroark decks don't run more than one. I guess one is really all you need, but
You only need one, yeah.
nah, man, I would definitely ban Double Colorless personally.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, Hex, I would drop Hex
Only
off my
an
list
expanded?
for eggs for sure.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was contemplating having Trevenant in there and not having Hex in there because I think what makes Hex good is VS Seeker. If you don't have the ability to spam VS Seeker all the time, then that ruins Hex. That ruins all your supporters, really. That's what makes it so broken is VS Seeker.
Yeah.
See, I think that the thing with Hex is like, especially when you get a little bit, different now with cards like Zoroark and Lycanroc. There's a lot more sequencing now than maybe what there was before, where you have to make sure that you're doing it at the right time. And it's not always that simple. I don't necessarily think Hex deserves it. It also, like, it being a supporter definitely limits what you can do on your turn as well. So, like, I don't disagree that it's good and that it wouldn't necessarily be a bad thing if it got banned. But I don't know that it warrants it for any reason.
So the main reason I chose the cards I did was I sat down and I thought about which cards in Expanded make your resource management easier. And all 5 of these, well, except for Getsus, which is just a jerk card that can ruin a game before it even begins. All these cards, VS Seeker, Zoroark GX, Battle Compressor, Hex Maniac, and Danny said eggs, all of them make it so that you don't have to think as hard about your choices.
I like that logic.
Agreed. Completely agree. All right, so that's our weekly top 5 for the week. Let's talk for a second.
Oh, I love talking
about the biggest news that we could possibly ever say.
Ooh.
Let's talk about it next week.
Oh, no.
Absolutely not.
It's already running a little bit long. We should cut it off here.
You can't do this. You can't do this to us either. Like, we already know the news, but we got to talk about it.
We'll talk about it without you. Like, it doesn't matter.
All right. I don't want to be the one to release the big news, so I'll let Dan do it because I know he's so excited about it.
Dan, do it.
I'm so excited about it. All right, you guys.
Just make sure you do it justice. Think of what would Danny say.
No. All right, you guys. There is a regional tournament in Madison, Wisconsin, running on June 2nd, 2018, all the way through June 4th, 2018. And during that regional, if you are unfortunately unable to make it to the event, you can catch all of the action live on twitch.tv/deaddrawgaming.
What?
We have the exclusive event rights to the stream for the event. Oh man, I cannot tell you guys, like, this is going to be like, we have a lot of time to work on this. This is going to be the best non-official stream ever.
Yeah, we don't really have that much time to work on it because it's already February. And the stuff that you have to go through to get a stream ready is pretty insane. So we're going to have a vending booth there. That's where me, Dan, and Darrin will be located. I mean, we're going to be behind the booth, vending like normal. We're going to have a team stage where our entire pro team will be setting up to play. And then we are going to be in charge of the stream. This is going to be the first time that we've ever streamed an event. And we have a lot of ideas that we've already discussed. But I'm super excited for the opportunity to do it. But this is all coming at one event. So last year at Madison, we were so excited because we just had a booth. And now not only do we have a booth, but we also have a team stage. And then we also are the stream for the event. And that's insane. Like, the opportunity is crazy.
This regional event is the Dead Draw Gaming regional. I am just unbelievably excited for this opportunity. It's just, man, there's a lot of pressure. There's a lot we have to do.
Definitely. But I think that the three of us definitely have the ideas and the skill and the talent to blow it out of the park.
Yeah, I think a lot of it boils down to actually like the people that we know. As far as like production method goes, like there's a lot that goes on behind a stream to make it successful.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of ideas that we have, like having a main stream and then a backup stream and possibly streaming VGC and having, the best commentators that we could possibly find commentating the match. But you also want the look to be good. streams are also expensive. You got to pay for a terabyte of internet, which is insane. And then you've got to pay for your tables, you got to pay for your chairs, you got to pay for the equipment, you got to pay for so much. So then you have to look at sponsorships. And you have to look at starting to sell sponsorship packages. We want to do like commercials in between rounds. We want to do like, you know how Pokemon has like their official stream in Worlds, and they've already got like Worlds footage. So we want to shoot some footage already on like Friday, and then get that produced and edited and up to run in between rounds as like a 30-second buffer or something, just going over the tournament and how great it is. So you want that all to look super official. You need the setup to look perfect as far as the card scans go, the camera on the actual mats to make sure that everything is in focus and visible. There's no glare. You got to have curtains up. You got to have a plan in place as to how everything's going to run. So it's a ton of work, and getting everything down on paper to make sure that everything goes off with a hitch is big. And since we've never tried this before or done this before, this is a whole new game to us. Like, it's a whole new game. So then you're looking at, like, who can we talk to? Who can we ask? What can we do to make sure that this is super successful? Because we don't want to go into something unless we know we're going to kill it. And we've talked to a lot of people, and we've gotten a lot of advice. And I think that it will be super successful. It's just, I'm very nervous about streaming a tournament with 1,500 players out to, you know, thousands upon thousands of people representing our brand. Because that's really what it is. This is our brand getting put out to thousands of people watching our stream, following our Twitch. And that's a lot. Like, that's a big, big deal. Messes with your head a lot. I mean, it's a stressful thing. So we got to make sure that we do it, and we do it right. And luckily, we're finally able to announce it. So now the planning process can officially begin, and we can start looking for those sponsorships and looking for player interviews and commentators and production equipment and methods on how to best produce a stream, because this is an event that's typically officially streamed by Pokemon, and this year it's not. So now we need to go in and we need to have a stream that's close to or as good as what Pokemon typically produces for Madison. So how are we going to do that?
I really super duper want to build the coolest stream table, because, you know, the official stream, they have that super cool prize cam. I think we got to have that, like, right? We'd be the only unofficial stream with the prize cam.
So I was like thinking of this earlier in my head, where if we set up just one stream table, we're gonna need 7 cameras, right?
2 face cams, 2 1 overhead cam, 2 prize cams, and then 2 more
hand cams.
Oh, you want hand cams too? Okay.
Hand cams. I don't know. Like, I was just going in my head, like, you know, how does the official stream do it? You know, because I want us to look just as good.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's how we have to do it.
7 cameras. Wow.
7 cameras. And that's if we only have one table.
Yeah, exactly.
Imagine having a backup stream table. 14 cams. At that point, we would need man. Yeah, it's definitely going to be a lot of work. But
I mean, 7 cameras, that's a lot of money.
Yeah.
And you're just talking about like Logitech cameras?
Yeah, the ones we use are more than good enough to do what we're going to do.
Any other ideas that you have?
I've got tons of ideas, but I mean, how much do we want to give away right now?
Just a taste.
All right, well, how about I'll leave you with, there's going to be a Dan commercial during the stream.
Ooh.
I'm going to be one of the sponsors. What?
Yeah, that is one thing about our sponsors. We had talked about, of course, doing commercial sponsors, but wouldn't it be cool? I think we talked about this a little bit, doing content creator sponsors as well.
Well, if we can work it, I want to do only content creator sponsors. Obviously, you know, it's if we can work it, we definitely want to do it that way. But I know, Danny, we were talking at one point, like, reaching out to places like Ultra Pro and whatever else, working with them as well. So,
man, That's
And not
crazy.
not just Ultra Pro, but like, those kinds of product providers. Ultra Pro, Ultimate Guard, the people who make the sleeves, the people who make the binders. Maybe we do like a t-shirt shop or something. Those kind of things.
TC Evolutions, of course.
Yeah, TC Evolutions, Chessex, whatever. And then there will definitely be my regular stream. I got an idea for the commercial I want to make. So
Dan Marshall.
the Dan Marshall. I'm gonna have to I can't make it myself, so I'm gonna have to lay it out and hope that Darrin can work his magic.
All right. Well, it's very exciting. It's going to be a long process. It's going to be a lot of work, but now it's feedback time. So feel free to send us any messages or emails or anything. Let us know what you want to see. Let us know what you think we could do. We have our ideas in mind. We have people that we've talked to, but you never know where the next good idea is going to come from. So super excited. Let us know what you think. Hopefully you're excited. Make sure to follow us on twitch.tv/DeadDrawGaming because that's where it's going to be broadcasted. And I think we'll get over 1,000 followers.
I'll be over 1,000 followers before.
Good.
Good to know.
Mm-hmm. I'm already almost at 900.
You know how we always talk about we're on the cusp, we're turning the corner, things are happening. This is it, everyone. This is it.
Yeah, I'm at 897 Twitch followers.
We are at 897 Twitch followers.
Yeah, Dan, that's not just your. That's not just your.
We streamed last weekend and got 100 some from just our Ultra Prism opening.
It's a little bit less than that.
100.
Nope.
Close to 100.
90, maybe a little less.
That's close to 100, I would say.
I like it.
Awesome.
I like it.
Well, now that's out in the open. So.
Oh, baby.
Got that off of our chest. All right,
Finally.
Let's move on to the question of the week.
Question of the week. Banana. Banana. Yeah, don't you guys love this?
That's what I'd imagine is Isan Sari singing it
Ooh,
And I will let you commentate Madison Regionals if you sing
the whole thing.
Sing the entire time?
And Brad Curcio pulls out a Zygarde GX.
Oh, man. Will Michael Pramawat become an 8 god?
Did we have a question last week? We had one, right?
We did. It was posed by Mr. Aaron Trainer. He asked what our listeners would like to see on our YouTube channel. First response comes from the Colonel, Colonel with numbers. Booster box battles. Same concept as a pre-release, but with booster boxes. And of course, you'd have as much energy as necessary. It's a very good idea. I love booster box battles.
So if I'm understanding correctly, it'd be more like a draft, correct?
Yeah, it'd be booster box drafts. That was my understanding.
Okay.
I did a pre-release draft and won.
Yeah, you did.
That's true. I got second.
Mm-hmm. I did 8 million damage to him for the win.
Oh yeah, I got destroyed. Danny ran over me with a Alolan Dugtrio. Oh man.
I discarded 13 metal energy for the knockout.
It was at least 11. Not good.
Wow.
If you want to see Dan's second place deck profile, it's on our YouTube channel.
Second place
on that Ultra Prism vlog.
Our next response comes from Jack Black. He says, vendor vlogs have a vlog where you're the vendor at a regional and show more interaction with the customers. Man, we have tried to do that multiple times, and we always get debated by our equipment.
By Dan's cat.
We always get Dan's cat by the equipment.
It's true, though.
Yeah, definitely. No, I definitely was okay, so I attempted to vlog Memphis. That did not go even close to the way I wanted it planned, or the way I had planned it out. the stream and the interviews didn't go the way that I had hoped they had planned. Everything was just bad, unfortunately.
Sad for life.
Yeah, but we did the Madison one. Madison was really good. I'll be vlogging when I go to St. Louis.
Cool. Well, we have another response. So here, fun fact, when you listen to a podcast, you don't get to see what the casters' faces look like for now. That's something that we need to talk about at some point.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
but,
ooh, the hinty spice. The spicy hint.
the minty heist. I don't know. All right. We had some confusion about who is Danny and who is Darrin. Totally understandable. I don't know what some of my podcasters look like that I listen to. So no big deal. But what was the next actual response to our question?
No one asked. Where's the dance slams?
Oh, here we go. How about a video or stream of just sifting through bulk, sorting bulk? It could be like a bulk/chat interaction stream. That would be rad. This is all from Colin. And, it made me think lo-fi hip-hop, 24/7 jams to study to, but with Pokemon cards,
I don't know. I curse a lot when I'm sorting bulk. I don't know if anybody wants to watch that.
Well, you know what? We could do it with the no sound on and then just have, some chill beats. Something to have on in the background.
I don't curse a lot when I sort bulk.
I think that's a great idea. Thanks, Colin. But yeah, that's pretty much all we have for responses this week. Much shorter week.
I would totally just sift through bulk on stream if I had bulk.
I've got some you can take.
Maybe I'll drive down to Danny and pick up a few 20,000 or so.
Yeah, just a couple 20,000 boxes. I don't know.
Yeah. So for question this week, I have a question.
Ooh.
It's kind of a simple question, but kind of a difficult question at the same time.
Ooh.
And it's a business-related question that involves Pokemon.
Oh.
How expensive is Cynthia going to be, the regular art? I want to know what it's going to climb to, what people think it's going to be.
All right, so that's a really tough one. What is Cynthia worth right now, just for our listeners, just to base their...
$3.
$3 Cynthia's right now. So what do you think Cynthia will climb to over the next few weeks, over the next month or two? You let us know in all the normal places. You can let us know on YouTube, on Facebook, on Twitter, on our Discord channel. You can email us at deaddragaming@gmail.com. And we just might read your response on next week's podcast episode.
Perfect. All right, let's get into the buy-sell trade of the week, which is actually a lot more in-depth than I thought it would be, because I did find some good deals out there, and Dan actually helped me today with some stuff, so I'll let him talk about that section of it. But as far as buying goes, I do have a thought process going through my head about Mew from Fates Collide, so I bought 72 of them, which is a lot.
Whoa.
So...
Wow.
We will have plenty of Mews from Fates Collide that we're just going to kind of hold on to for a little while and see if they go up. They're $1 a piece right now. I think that they can get up to $3 to $4. Worst that comes to it is we are sitting with 72 Mews.
I like Mew.
Yeah, so I bought those. I was actually perusing is a better word, through eBay the other day, and I was looking at Zoroark GXs, and I found the full art version on eBay for $7.75, and they had 6 of them, so I bought all 6 of them. So the full art version of Zoroark GX is selling right now for about $13-ish. So I bought all 6 of them, so I'm excited for those. It's a very good profit margin, very respectable. So we got all those coming in. And then one of the ones that I'm most excited about is I actually did a trade. Haven't done one of those in a long time.
Wow.
So when I was on Twitter, there was somebody who was looking to trade away a Gold Star Charizard and a Shining Charizard for 450 Ultra Prism codes. So I contacted him and said, hey, I can get you 450 Ultra Prism codes for,
those two cards. So he sent me pictures of them. I looked at them. The Shining Charizard is probably lightly played. The Gold Star Charizard's about the same. So really excited for those to get in. And 450 codes. The codes that I bought, I ended up paying between 30 and 35 cents a piece for. So I'm fine with that. Like that's good profit margin. Darren, what did we sell our moderately played or heavily played Shining Charizard for recently?
I can look that up very fast. I can't remember off the top of my head. One moment.
I think it was around $100.
We sold our Shining Charizard moderately to heavily played for $90.
For what? I'm sorry.
$90.
$90. Okay. So that's, for a moderately to heavy played, a lightly played one's probably going to go for about $120. And then the Gold Star Charizard is going to go for about $150. So $270 worth of cards, roughly $270, $300 for 450 codes. Seems like a really good deal to me. I'm excited for that. And then Dan, you bought a bunch of stuff today. What did you buy?
I have purchased 95 Cynthias.
95 Cynthias.
Still looking.
Okay, so my logic on buying all these Cynthias is pretty simple. We have the advantage because we were opening up a bunch of different boxes, and on average, you were pulling 1 to 2 regular Cynthias per booster box. That's pretty low. So we opened up 45 boxes roughly, pulled about 90, between 80 and 90 Cynthias, which sold super fast. We sold out right away at $3.50 a piece. And then I started thinking, well, what's the last uncommon that kind of went like this? And my mind went to like Max Elixir. And then my mind went to VS Seeker, which in Phantom Forces, I remember opening up a bunch of boxes of Phantom Forces because I was obsessed with Manectric and I wanted to pull as many Manectrics as I could. And VS Seeker ended up being, a $7 to $8 card. And it was a staple in every deck. Well, Cynthia is going to become pretty much a 4 of in every deck once rotation hits. And even before rotation, it's going to be heavily played in most decks because you're shuffling just your hand and you get 6 new cards. Plus, it's beneficial to Garchomp. So in my mind, it's like a no-brainer. So if you're buying these all at $2.50 a piece, which is what we're paying for them, and you got 100 of them, if it climbs up to $7 a piece, $7 to $8 a piece, that's totally worth it. Like that's a huge, huge increase. And if you're only opening up 1 to 2 Cynthias per booster box, and now they're not printing booster boxes anymore, like that's a no-brainer to me. Like this could become a $10 uncommon. If you have 1,000 people that play at a standard event, you need 3,000 to 4,000 Cynthia. That's a lot of Cynthia. I could be wrong. We'll see what happens.
I think it's a great, great play.
So I think that's it for my buy-sell trade of the week. I don't think I have anything else, so we can move into open discussion. I think I've said everything that I need to say. The big thing was about the stream. We've got a lot of work coming up over the next couple weeks, a lot of important things that we'll discuss as we move on. Other than that, I don't really have much of anything. Oh, I did get contacted on Facebook yesterday by a mom whose kid is really getting into Pokemon. She saw me just post something and got super into it and wanted to learn more about Pokemon. I thought that was really cool.
Awesome.
What do you guys got? Darren, you got anything for open discussion?
I do. I was wondering if you guys want to talk about making our podcast recorded live with our faces on it and posted to, I don't know, Twitch and Facebook.
Okay, so I was actually thinking about this the other day. You guys have seen like the new like Twitch Premiere thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Where you can release videos on Twitch like at a scheduled time and then watch them with your audience. So I think it would be really cool if instead of doing it live, we did it that way. And then when it got uploaded, one or all of us could interact with the audience as it's being watched. Because how often does it happen where we record something and then boom, day later, news comes out that we should have talked about today, or it changes something that we talked about today? Well, now like we can kind of add that thing in. And I think it would be a really cool way to kind of take advantage of that.
I think that's really great. Also, it gives me the chance to edit because what you guys listen to, actually, I put a lot of work into it to pull out a lot of just garbage time, and sometimes we say things that you don't really want to listen to. I guarantee it. I promise. So if we were to do it live, that just would mean it would be much more difficult. Blah, blah. That just means it would be much more difficult for us to flub our words like I do very commonly. Or we couldn't make little side jokes that we shouldn't put on the air, just stuff like that.
Yeah, it's something that we all do, so I think that would just be a really cool way to do it, because I don't know. And then like we can obviously cross post that to YouTube like we already do, but now it's kind of more something that you can listen to, but you can also watch if you wanted.
Yeah, and then people could see our faces and know which one of us is who when talking.
Yeah, Darrin, the
babyface Darrin.
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to know what other people think. Like, I guess I want to know what kind of outlet you think would be ideal for listening to us on. Like, do you enjoy just listening to us on like SoundCloud or iTunes or a different podcast app, whatever the case may be? Or is this something where you would actually join us live? We've done live episodes before. Is that something where if we did it on, let's say, live on a weekly basis, would that be something that you would be interested in joining in on? The podcast would still be released on SoundCloud and iTunes, but it would give you the opportunity of, responding to our expressions. And there would be times I'm sure we would take interactions, but for the most part, we would stick pretty much strictly to business.
Mm-hmm.
Otherwise, like Dan said, like doing something where we record it and then watching it live with one of us, as more of a hangout kind of idea behind it all. I would love to hear what other people think.
Agree, 100%. I definitely think it's worth looking into. The problem is the logistics can be kind of tough. As many of you don't know, we don't all live in the same city. We do at least live in the same state now. It's just there would be some commuting. So I don't know if we'd be able to record at the same time. There's just a whole lot of things that we'd have to decide on if we were to do this. So we would love your feedback as listeners. Let us know what you think, what you want. It'll help us make a decision.
Perfect.
I do have one other thing, one really, really small thing for open discussion.
Ooh.
It is February 6th today as we record. And hopefully, as many of you know, February 6th is Mewtwo's birthday. So happy birthday, Mewtwo.
Happy birthday, Mewtwo. I got my Mewtwo in Pokemon Go. My raid was successful last week. Or was that?
What's a Mewtwo?
Wrecked.
I don't get it.
Bad joke.
Oh.
Jack Black laughed at that. It's okay.
Jeez.
Thanks, Jack.
Bam, bam, bam. So I was looking at some speculation for Pokemon Go. I didn't want to talk about this earlier because it's just for lulz. What do you guys think of Deoxys being the next EX raid mon?
Yo.
There it is.
Jirachi will be a raid mon too?
No, they haven't done like the super mythical. Like we haven't had Mew in the game yet, and we haven't, and so I don't know if we'll get Jirachi
or Celebi.
Yeah, exactly.
Interesting.
There you go.
Because Deoxys, well, now it's not, but it was a mythical Pokemon before, right? Where you can only get it via event. It's not
know.
Since Oris came out.
Right.
Prior to that, it was. Interesting.
Interesting.
Cool.
I guess the last thing I have for open discussion is Eagles are Super Bowl champions. That game was amazing. I enjoyed watching it very much so. It was on the edge of my seat the whole time. And Dan, thank you for hosting. That was really nice. And your girlfriend made some delicious Philly cheesesteaks and other food. It was a good time.
Those Philly cheesesteaks were actually very good. Very good. Enjoyed mine a lot. Well, I don't have anything else. Danny, what you got?
Nothing. You
All
can
right.
take us home.
All right. So, you guys, if you enjoyed episode number 70 of Dead Draw Gaming, a Pokemon TCG podcast like no one ever was, make sure to hit that like button down below and share this podcast with all of your friends. We had a great episode. Make sure to join us next week for episode number 71. But that's all we have for you this week. So, for Danny, for Darrin, and for myself, Dan, we will see you next time.